Good evening, race fans. Welcome to tonight's FEG PC doubleheader in their truck series, where we're going to be bringing you the action from Road America and Atlanta Motor Speedway here tonight. But a doubleheader, these drivers were off last week, enjoying a bit of downtime and getting ready for this grueling race here tonight at Road America, one of the few road courses these competitors will find themselves out on for the series. Drivers doing their best to put down some qualifying times before it comes to an end. Only a 5-minute qualifying, so that's about barely enough time for one flying lap, maybe two if you got here very, very early. But we're going to get ready to grid them up here at Road America. On behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, I'm James East, always bringing the action, 1080p, 60 frames a second. It's going to be a barn burner here tonight. 20 laps or 1 hour time limit here at Road America, followed by 100 laps at Atlanta Motor Speedway. So all these drivers have very different strategies and kind of different racing going in tonight. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how these guys do. Only about 15 drivers showing up for the road course tonight, not the usual grid you're expecting to see. And some guys saying, hey, I'm not here for road racing, which is a shame, because a lot of guys you're going to see out here are going to be able to gain a whole lot of points on the field as we get ready to finish up qualifying. A few drivers still out on track, and then we're going to take it to your grid. As we get ready to start tonight, Matthew Lee still in the lead for points. Michael J. Johnson is in second. Kenneth McCullough Jr. is in third for the truck series. As let's get ready to take it to the grid. Starting up front, Michael J. Johnson, followed by Andrew Navarro on the front row. Matthew Lee will be starting in third with fan favorite Jay Dargert starting in fourth. Kieran Church starting in fifth. Chad Ross will be starting sixth. Jeffrey Radke starting seventh. James Kaufman will be starting eighth. Eric Parks will be starting ninth. Matthew Curry 10th. Jose Medina will be starting 11th, with Kenneth McCullough Jr. starting 12th. Then you've got William Lothar, one of our favorite Canadians out there, starting 13th. And then Joseph Burgess will round out the field with a 14-truck field as we get ready to go green here at Road America. Looking at the previous results, I don't believe they have ran a road course in the season so far. We are in segment 2, so kind of restarts the slate for these drivers. But we do have Road America here today. Then we also have Watkins Glen coming up July 26th, so that'll be another interesting one. Other than that, it looks like all speedways and super speedways for our drivers, so this will be one of 2 road courses they have to navigate. It's going to be tricky. A lot of the drivers are saying, hey, it's a lot of fun, but I'm holding on for dear life out here. And something a little bit different, I believe they've got more fuel capacity they have had in the past, as well as no cautions here on the Road America circuit. So they'll do localized cautions, just a heads up. That'll be a no passing if there is a caution out in a corner, but no full course cautions here today. No rain on the forecast as our iRacing safety car and the beautiful Porsche takes these drivers around for their spotting lap. We'll call out a couple of points of interest you're going to see these drivers having to navigate here today. Turn 1's what they're dipping in right now. Turn 2, a little bit of a kink here, kind of in that straightaway, but and then turn 3, the kind of downhill right-hander. A short straightaway through another kink that's called turn 4 before they go into moraine sweep and then dive it into turn 5. So this is about turn 4 right now that you're seeing on screen. And I've got to say, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pretty excited. Not quite sure what's going to happen here. This is the first road course that we've had the pleasure of announcing for the FEG PC Truck Series. A lot of machines out there on track right now that really aren't designed for right turns in mind, so these drivers are going to do their best to overcome and adapt and make their way around the course. As you see the pace car Coming through turn 5. Short run at a 90-degree angle up into 6 before they go up under the bridge. A little bit of a sweep into turn 7. Down, hurry down straight away. A brief jaunt before a sharp left-hander into turn 8. Underneath another bridge before diving into the carousel. Turns 9 and 10, a decreasing radius, somewhat kind of a horseshoe shape here at Road America. NASCAR drivers and truck drivers will skip the bend. You'll see it on the left-hand side here in a moment. Into the kink here at turn 11 before blasting down Kettle Bottoms, where these drivers are going to get a big run all the way down, holding it wide open before aggressively getting on the brakes into turn 12, also known as Canada Corner. They'll go into Canada Corner. They'll go through Thunder Valley, then turn 13 to Bill Mitchell Bend before the final right-hander onto 14. And then up the hill for the start-finish line straight. So it's going to be a very exciting night tonight here. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to go up the hill here, and then the green flag is a go here at Road America. 25 laps. Michael J. Johnson out front, followed by Matt Lee, Jay Dargert. Michael Johnson gets a great launch, but let's watch turn 1. If there's going to be carnage, this is where it's going to be at on the opening lap. Matt Lee glued to the back of Michael J. Johnson. Looks like everybody's getting through pretty clean so far. The field's going to stretch out just a little bit here. As always, thank you to everybody that tunes in from across the country, cheering on the favorite drivers. We see Tyler Cullen tuning in, David Morgan tuning in as well. Always a pleasure to see those guys from across the world cheering on their favorite drivers as we see these guys charging into turn 5. That very sharp left-hander after you get a bunch of speed. Blasting back up the hill into turn 6. So far, so good. All these drivers doing a fantastic job staying out there and keeping it clean. Very impressed with the caliber of drivers we have out here today. Everybody's been putting in a lot of work trying to figure out this road course. As Michael J. Johnson, Matthew Lee in second, doing a great job stretching the gap over third place, Jay Dargert. Dargert finds himself about 2 seconds back from this lead pack. Behind Dargert, you've got Chad Ross, is about 1.5 seconds back from Dargert. So Dargert doing a great job. We've seen him do well in the ovals, but it's a nice, refreshing seeing him charging so dominantly on this road course. Dargert, one of those drivers that put in a bunch of work leading up to today to making sure he's got things figured out. But right now, Michael Johnson, Matthew Lee, they've got it figured out the best as they blast down. Into Canada Corner through Thunder Valley. They're going to flick it left into Bill Mitchell Bend. Then the hard right into 14, carrying as much speed as they possibly can up the hill. And we do have our first crash of the day. William Lothar going to be involved in that one. William Lothar in the 47 machine. Let's see what he has going on here. Not quite sure where the incident started for the number 47, but we see, there he is. Just gets snaps loose, sends him around. Can he keep it off the tire barrier? He can. So well done to Lothar for able to keep it together and hold on to that 47 and get back out there. Did have a DNS tonight. That was Andrew Navarro. He was unable to make it out there in his number 42 Toyota. And the battle for the lead still commencing. Michael J. Johnson out front. Matthew Lee in second. Jay Dargert in third. Dargert finds himself about 3.4 seconds back from the race leaders, but is doing a fantastic job. Still in podium contention here, as this is a very, very tough track. This is a primarily oval league, so these guys are getting a real curveball. And we have another crash. Kieran Church involved. Matthew Curry, Joseph Burgess all involved. Let's get to the replay on that one. This is around the P9, P10 area. So you're watching Kieran Kirch in the number 1 machine. Well, lifetime and scoring shows him as number 1, but he's running the 22 today and just loses it going into turn 5. And I believe a freight of cars might have followed him. That was the case. There's the 51 having to woe way up to try and avoid him, and all these guys doing a good job locking on the brakes to avoid the incident. So well done for those drivers. As far as incidents go on a road course, that could have been way, way worse. We're going to take it back out front. Look at that commanding lead he has right now. He's doing a fantastic job staying out there, clicking off laps. Still a long way to go. As it's still Michael J. Johnson out front, Matthew Lee second. Let's take a look at Jay Dargert, who's fallen off the pace a little bit. He's about 5 seconds back behind him. He's got Chad Ross in the 38 machine doing his best to click off some speed here. Michael J. Johnson, Matthew Lee did 2:15s and 2:16 lap times. That's 2 minutes 15 seconds, 2 minutes 16 seconds, compared to Dargert, who put down a 2 minute 17 second. Behind Dargert, you got Chad Ross just clicked off a 2 minute 19. So Dargert's able to get a little bit more comfortable as he stays out there and clicks off some laps, but he's got to know consistency wins races and gains you some more points, as Dargert doing his best job staying out there. We did get reports from race control that there is unlimited incidents here on the road course, as well as full fuel capacity on unlimited tires, something a little bit different than what they've ran in the past, allowing these drivers to a little bit more leeway. We all understand, hey, they're not pro road racers, they're pro oval racers. We're going to check out Matt Lee in the 04 Toyota Tundra, always looking sharp out there. Matthew Lee's fallen off the pace a little bit. He's about 2.4 seconds back from race leader Michael J. Johnson, who is absolutely dominating here today. Johnson's putting on a fantastic run. We'll see if we can find his stats and see if he's a consistent road racer top finisher. Michael J. Johnson, he's had a bunch of podiums. He was second in Kentucky, second at Gateway, and third at Daytona. His worst result of the season was a 9th place at Charlotte Oval. So doing a fantastic job, staying very, very consistent, able to get back out there over and over, and that's what wins championships. As we're going to look at the points as well, he is still second behind Matthew Lee. He finds himself about 19 points back. So Matthew is in a good spot here to salvage some points. Keep that race truck clean. And we do have another incident. It's going to be Joseph Burgess having another moment. Let's get a replay for that. Joseph Burgess in the number 19 Ford F-150. We'll see where things go from bad to worse for him. Just hucks it too far left, locks it up, and has to avoid going off the track. So well done. He also has the mindset, hey, let's get off the track as quickly as I can because here comes number 51 plowing through. Doesn't want to get himself involved with any of that business. So that was Jeffrey Radke avoiding an incident. As Matthew Lee still finds himself about 3.2 seconds back from race leader Michael J. Johnson. Gives you a good visual idea of what 3 seconds looks like on a road course with Gander Mountain trucks blasting around. Johnson doing a fantastic job. He's about 0.5 seconds off of his last, or his best lap, his last time by. Matthew Lee slowed down a little bit, about not quite a second. So, I mean, Michael Johnson's super consistent out there, just clicking off laps. He knows what it takes, and he knows that the current points leader, Matthew Lee, is behind him right now. So it's got to be a massive ego boost for the number 39. And oh no, there we go. Jose Medina has an incident as well. He's a hit with a big crash. Let's see what happened to old Jose in the 24 machine. Gets off in the marbles and spins it around. So we've seen a few drivers getting collected there. These trucks are not made for turning right, and they don't have the world's best brakes. They take a long time to slow them down. If you push too late, you can quickly find yourself locking the brakes up on that. But who is not having any problems is 39. Michael J. Johnson still clicking off laps. He slowed down a little bit, about a second off of his best pace, but he knows he's got a 3.5 second gap to second place Matthew Lee and an 11 second gap to third place Jay Dargert. William Lothar has another incident. This is your battle for 8th right now. Kieran Church in the number 22 machine. He's being stalked by Matthew Curry in the 54. Only about 2 seconds separate them. It's one of the smaller gaps we have on the racetrack right now. As we see front to back drivers doing their best to hold on to it, try and get out there and click it off. Now these drivers do have enough fuel to make it the entire 25 laps. So I'm not sure if you're going to see anybody coming in for tires here and trying to put some fresh rubber on or just stay out as long as they possibly can. I would have to wager Michael J. Johnson is going to stay out. Matt Lee will stay out. Jay Dargert will stay out. The drivers did mention before the race as well that tire wear a little bit less pushy against these trucks. They're wearing slower with these full fuel tanks. So that's what a Jay Dargert in the 57 reported before he went out for the race and said, hey, we might be able to stretch it out a little bit longer. We're not really wearing tires as much as we thought we would with the lighter, faster trucks. So Dargert with his best of the session was a 2:17. He's 2 minutes 17. He's currently clicking off 2 minute 18 second lap times. As poor William Lothar is still having problems out there. Finds himself having a rough time holding on to the 47. Our fastest Canadian only running 12th place tonight. Lothar, a very consistent oval driver, is able to stay out front and really push hard. Just not coming to grips with Road America here today. Take you on board with fan favorite Jay Dargert, showing how much wheel work is really required in these trucks. So he's going to hold it wide open up to start finish line straight. We'll leave it here on the roll bar camera until he gets to turn 1. And you can listen to how hard he has to get on the brake to try and make it flow way up before going into 1. Take a listen. That was Jay Dargert, number 37 machine, doing a fantastic job, rev matching like an absolute professional on those downshifts. So Dargert might have a little bit in the reserves here. He might be a road racer, just hasn't told anybody before. Matthew Lee in the 04, he sees Michael J. Johnson about to have to navigate lap traffic Eric Parks has his incident. We'll grab a replay here in a second after Michael J. Johnson can navigate lap traffic. I believe that's a 25 of James Kaufman. It is that Michael J. Johnson's going to have to work his way around. Kaufman currently running 13th. Will be the first driver to start the race that goes one lap down here at Road America. Michael J. Johnson gets around final. Let's take it back to that replay. Eric Parks having a moment. And the number 5 goes off track, pushes it wide. And does his best to hold on to it, but that was a pretty rough one he found himself into. Oh, what happens here? Thankfully nothing. Then William Lothar has another incident. Just gets that right rear into the grass and spins the 47 careening around the raceway. Lothar did come into pit lane. He may be calling it a night. But right now, Michael J. Johnson extending his lead, a 5-second gap right now. We've got a battle for 6 shaking up. That's Kenneth McCullough Jr. He's tailed by Eric Parks. See in the backside, that's Eric Parks. That's about a 1.9 second gap. Oh no, as McCullough Jr. feels the heat, pushes a little wide, and that's going to allow Eric Parks to make his way around and take the 6th position. Parks is up 3 spots. Ken McCullough Jr. still up 5 spots. And that seems to be how the most of the passing has been going on here today, ladies and gentlemen. As drivers, some of the drivers are having a rough go holding on to that raw horsepower these trucks are putting out. Oh no, I believe Matthew Lee had a moment. Pushes it wide going into 5, able to collect it. Runs through the kitty litter just ever so slightly. So Matthew Lee, now he's got about a 9-second gap in front of him to Michael J. Johnson, current race leader. That's allowed Jay Dargert to close the gap just a little bit. Dargert finds himself about 4.7 seconds back from second place Matthew Lee. But you got to really hand it to Dargert. He hasn't been able to finish in the podium that much in segment 2 here. So now that he's able to actually get out there on a road course and show what he's got, very, very cool to see from Dargert, who lost 5 positions in the points chase. His best finish of the season so far was also at 3rd place at Charlotte Oval. And then after that, a series of bad luck. A 15th at Daytona and an 8th at Gateway and a 16th at Kentucky. So Dargert may found his calling here on road courses, able to get up there and run with the big dogs. Still some good action on track. Eric Parks being chased by Kenneth McCullough Jr. McCullough sees Parks in front of him, trying to make something happen. Then behind McCullough Jr., you've got Kieran Church, the number 1 machine, showing us, I believe, 22 on track. Oh, and then he has a moment. So Church does a great job hanging on to it as it gets loose, but unfortunately it's going to kill his drive going down Kettle Bottoms into Canada Corner. So it shows just how hard it is to really hold on to these machines and stay out there and keep running laps. William Lothar, he has another small crash. We'll grab a replay of that. Lothar leaves the pit lane. Oh, and then gets a little bit of help from Jay Dargert. Dargert gets pushed off track in that incident. Oh, we got an incident here. Matthew Lee, 2nd place. Watch the 04. He's going to drive it deep through the moraine sweep, and oh, what a crash. We're going to get a slow-mo of that one because that was a heck of a spin. The 04 machine came out relatively unscathed, all things considered. Let's see what happens here. Maybe it gets just a little bit into the grass, and it's going to whip the 04 around. Matthew Lee is showing the right time to hit the brakes and does a relatively good job as far as crashes go. At a high rate of speed on a road course, that could have went way, way worse for Matthew Lee. Well, look at that. That's going to allow Jay Dargert. Now he's got Matt Lee in his sights. It's a 2.2 gap in closing. Does Dargert have what it takes to reel in one of the more dominant cars this season? Matthew Lee in the 04, who may be having a little bit of aero damage. He's got to worry about his radiator. It wasn't a very hard hit, but sometimes it's just enough to really cause some damage and ruin your chances of a long run. 18 laps to go. Still plenty of time for Dargert to make something happen. Dargert trying to work on Matt Lee. 1.85 seconds as they cross the line. Dargert was able to put down a 4-second lap faster than Lee after Lee had that massive incident. And Dargert had his own going into one, giving a bump to William Lothar. And then no, commentator's curse, hits hard. Dargert's off track. Able to keep it clean, but he's going to lose a whole lot of seconds there, as the gap has now extended to 4.8 seconds behind second place Matthew Lee. So Dargert, after having that big scary moment, has got to be thinking to himself, all right, at this point, let's dial it back just a little bit. I've got a 13-second gap over the pace behind me. That's Chad Ross running fourth in the 38 machine. So that'll happen a lot to drivers. They get a little bit of confidence, start finding some speed and feel a little bit more comfortable. The next thing you know, you have a big, big moment that really scares you and realizes how close you can be to ruining a race. I think you'll see them dial it back just a little bit, start clicking off some consistent laps. But anything can happen here at Road America. Let's look at Michael J. Johnson, though. A dominant performance so far. Finds himself with a 17-second gap and climbing 18-second gap to second place Matthew Lee. Michael J. Johnson's got to be feeling good about having two road courses on this segment of the FEG PC Truck Series. And if he can keep having nights like this, he's looking good to extend that points championship. Right now, again, he's first in points. Matthew Lee's in second. As a lot of drivers still fighting their machines as Matthew Curry goes off track, Eric Parks goes off track, Church goes off track. Oh, and that was Eric Parks locking it up. Not sure if he was starting to blow up there or what happened. This is the battle for sixth place right now. Kieran Church is who you're focused on in the 22. He's chasing down Kenneth McCullough Jr. in the 03 machine. Man, look at the battle scars on Church's left side right there, showing just kind of what night he's having so far. Trying to get that draft, gain a little bit of speed. Less than a second separates them as they dive it into Canada Corner. They're going to charge through Thunder Valley, a very treacherous section of racetrack on these trucks. Church really working the brakes on that 22, trying to gain just a little bit of time on Kenneth McCullough Jr. They're going to go side by side up the hill. Church gets the drive. He makes the pass, but here we go into turn one. Can Church make it stick, or will the pressure be too much? You see just how early they're having to get on the brakes. Start slowing those trucks down. Church going to dive into one. So far, so good. He's going to make it stick on Kenneth McCullough Jr. So Church does make the pass for sixth, and he does it clean. Chad Ross in 38, somebody we normally broadcast and have him talking a lot, but Ross not having the best of nights in the 38, and the Dirty Mo sponsored number 38 Chevrolet. And then Jeffrey Radke in 5th has a crash. So let's see what happens to Radke here. Driving down Moraine's sweep, gets a little bit loose, hard on the brakes, but I think he realizes a little bit too late there. Hey, I'm not going to make this corner. Does a good job saving all things considered. Not quite sure why live time and scoring showed that as a crash, but as far as moments go, that could have been much worse as Radke starts to collect himself and get it together. Radke still has about 18-second gap over 6th place, Kieran Church. Matthew Lee lost a little bit of time there in the bottom right of your corner. That's Jay Darker doing his best to try and reel in the 04 machine. That last time by, Darker put down a 2-minute 21 lap, while Darker did a 2-minute and 20 lap. So over a second faster, Darker in the 57 was that last lap. He's only about 1.7 seconds back at the moment, so he's going to keep pushing, trying to make it happen as we have another incident. Matthew Curry with a big moment. So Matthew Curry getting collected just like so many before him, and that very hard left-hander unlightens the truck just a little bit and sends you sliding around. But look at this, Matthew Lee. He's got a little bit of lap traffic in front of him. Lap traffic, not sure what's going to happen here, where they're going to yield at. I believe that's Kieran Church in the 22. It is right in front of 2nd place, Matt Lee. The longer Lee has to fight with Church to get that position. Excuse me, that's the 24 machine, Jose Medina, who has a moment trying to get out of the way and goes off track. We were going to say every time Matthew Lee has to try and navigate lap traffic, it's going to slow him down just a little bit. Allow 3rd place Jay Darger to catch up, but Darger didn't get the great end of that deal as he's still about 1.8 seconds back. Ken McCall Jr., he's going to bring it into pit lane, try and get some repairs on the 03 machine. And McCullough's got to remember, hey, I'm going out on a fresh set of Goodyears all the way around. It's going to be a little bit more slippery till heat builds back up in those tires. But Jay Darger, I mean, what a great run from him tonight in the number 57. Hasn't had the best season or segment 2 that he was hoping for, but doing a great job here on the road course. As we see Matt Lee, he's going to come into pit lane with 14 to go. So Dargert's going to be able to take 2nd place here. And let's see what his lap time is this go around. His best was a 2:17. His last was a 2:20. He does another 2-minute and 21 that time around. So he hasn't slowed down a whole lot. So Darger, again, he said before the race, we're getting a little bit less tire wear than we really expected. So I'm wondering to see how long we see Darger stay out there today. It's anywhere between a 45-second to a 56-second pit stop once you come on a pit lane. By the time you cross the cone, at the very beginning, the time you leave pit lane with the exit cone, we saw Ken McCall Jr. with a 56-second total pit time. Let's see what it is for Matthew Lee. Matthew Lee with a 55.22 on pit lane. That's going to put him about a half lap back from Jay Darger. Now, my understanding is they can make it most of the way on fuel, but they may have to do a quick top off. They may find themselves 4 or 5 laps short. That will allow a little bit of strategy from these competitors to see who can stay out the longest. And not sure if we're going to see a bunch of oval guys doing fuel-saving techniques and try and squeeze it out on a one-stop. They can save 45 seconds if they're able to, but I'm not sure how it's going to relate per lap. As Jeffrey Radke, he leaves pit lane. Matthew Lee's left pit lane. And Michael J. Johnson currently holds a 26-second lead over second place Jay Dargert. A lot of good racing across the field. The field's definitely strung out tonight, but everybody's still out there except for Navarro, who is a DNS in the number 42 machine. Matthew Curry, he brought it on to pit lane. Chad Ross in 38 still running in third place after we saw Matt Lee having to bring it in and top off fuel. Ross has got a little bit of lap traffic in front of him. I believe that's going to be James Kaufman in the 25 machine. It is, so Ross is going to do his best to make quick work of Kaufman, and there's also more lap traffic. Oh, perfect timing. Chad Ross says, hey, you know what? There's lap traffic. Now is as good of a time as any to bring it into pit lane. Get some work done on that 38. Put his 4 fresh Goodyears and fuel on there. And that will allow Matt Lee to take over third place once more. Michael J. Johnson, his best in the race was a 2-minute and 15-second lap time. His last time by was a 2-minute and 20 seconds, so he's 5 seconds off his best time. But right now he owns a commanding lead, over 30-second gap to second place Jay Dargert. Excuse me, 28-second gap. 13 laps to go, still plenty of time, but he is clicking off laps and making it happen here. A whole lot of smoke here at Road America as a lot of guys still having problems holding on to those race trucks. What a beautiful raceway out here in Wisconsin. You see gravel in front of Michael J. Johnson. I think that was Lothar. Lothar goes off track. Not sure if he's trying to avoid the leader or just having a very rough night here. And there we go. Michael J. Johnson's going to bring it into pit lane. He's got a 30-second gap over second place Jay Dargert. We'll see where Dargert is here. He's going through the Bill Mitchell bend right now. Before the right-hander turn 14 to drive it up to start finish line straight, where he will take the lead and lead a lap here at Road America. Dargert has only led 2 laps so far this segment. That was 2 laps he had under his possession at Charlotte Oval for round 1 of segment 2. That was a doubleheader that day. We had Charlotte, then Daytona right afterwards. So Dargert going to get his 3rd lap of the season led under his belt. As Michael J. Johnson just leaves pit lane. Now we know Johnson's been consistently about 2 seconds a lap faster than Jay Dargert, who is also not pitted yet. So I'm not sure if Dargert's going to be able to stay out or if he's going to see it do a late pit entry here. Now hypothetically, if Dargert can stay out the entire time and not have any worries and able to bring it in no problem, it's going to take Michael J. Johnson about 7.5 laps to catch up. If Dargert keeps running his pace compared to Michael J. Johnson's very consistent 2-minute and 20s he was clicking off before that pit stop. Jay Dargert's last time by was a 2-minute 22. But Michael J. Johnson, he's got the fastest lap of the session so far here tonight. A 2-minute and 15-second lap time, absolutely blistering around this road course. So we'll see how long can Dargert hold on to it. Is he going to go for a few more laps led here, maybe pick up some bonus points, or are we going to see the number 57 fan favorite Jay Dargert start thinking about pit strategy as well, when he's going to want to bring it in? It's 12 laps to go. It'll be 11 at the line. I'd have to imagine he's going to have to pit here at Road America. Darger, one of the nicest guys you can meet in the virtual paddock. Really, all the guys here at the FEG PC Truck Series are some of the nicest guys you can meet. Very welcoming, a lot of fun to race with all these guys. And good to see him out here having a great time trying to get around this very tricky road course. Well, we've got 12 laps to go. We're going to run to a quick commercial break. Don't miss anything. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. During the commercial break, you saw Kendall McGill Jr. having another off-track incident going into turn 5 and 6. Went in too deep there at Road America's turn 5 after the Moraine sweep. And while we have a moment after that commercial break, I always like to thank the guys at FEGPC.net for putting on this series. If you're looking for a custom-built solution for your sim enthusiast needs, doesn't matter if it's iRacing, DCS, Microsoft Flight Simulator, they've got the rigs that can help you out and get you out there either on track or in the air, so check them out, FEGPC.net. Thank you guys for putting this on, and look at that. Jay Dargert, fan favorite, has a big moment, goes off track, yields the lead to Michael J. Johnson. I think you're going to see Jay Dargert coming into pit lane here. You are. Dargert's going to lose one spot, I believe, during this pit stop to Matthew Lee, who has pitted already. Michael J. Johnson should not have to come in again at this point. It's 10 laps to go. So Jay Dargert comes in for his one and only pit stop. He should be leaving the pits in third place, barring any craziness. He's got about a 1 minute gap to Chad Ross in fourth place. So Dargert going to bring it in for full fuel, 4 fresh Goodyears. Now this is one of those odd races where you would normally try and stay out and you don't have to worry about taking fuel for as long as if a pit stops, but Dargert told us, hey, the truck seemed to handle a little bit better with full fuel. All these competitors are on fixed setups, unlimited tires, open capacity fuel, so no limits here. As Dargert might be fixing a little bit of damage. He's in the pits for 32nd for his pit box. I'm not sure what happened here, but Dargert not looking at a good spot. Jeffrey Radke. Chad Ross has already gone by in the 38. Jeffrey Radke's going to come by. Dargert's going to find himself falling back to 5th. What is going on? Dargert's in pits for 50 seconds so far. What on earth? There we go. Dargert leaves without the massive 54-second pit stop. Finds himself all the way back into 6th. So Dargert with a huge stroke of very terrible luck here. What happened to the 57? We'll have to get a report from Dargert after the race, but terrible, terrible luck for the 57 machine. That's going to put him back in 6th place. Right now he's got Joseph Burgess in front of him. Burgess has not pitted yet, so Dargett may still be able to squeeze out a top 5 here today. Joseph Burgess in the number 19 Ford F-150, doing a good job, has been keeping it pretty clean here today. Burgess, his last time by was a 2-minute and 27-second lap time, so he's not having a spectacular night, but he has been very consistent, keeping it out there, staying on track for the most part. Good to see the number 19, a relatively newcomer to this series, able to click off some laps and run in a very good spot for himself. Burgess, his best finish so far this season was at Daytona, where he was able to bring home an 8th place after leading 3 laps. So good to see one of the newer guys out there clicking them off, making it happen. But 9 to go. Let's check on race leader Michael J. Johnson out front. A dominant performance here today. The only time he wasn't out front was after pit cycle shenanigans. But his last time by was a 2-minute, 17-second lap time compared to Matthew Lee's 2-minute and 28-second lap time. So Johnson's got it figured out, doing a great job. Keeping the number 39 truck very, very clean out there. Johnson showing what it takes to go fast consistently. Current points leader. Been the dominant truck out here today, doing a fantastic job. Johnson diving in deep here at Bill Mitchell Bend. He's going to hold it wide open, then whoa it way up for that right-hander. Try and carry as much speed as you get onto one of the few straightaways here at Road America. Aptly named the Road America Straight. Up the hill, a bit of a roller coaster across the start and finish line. It'll be 8 to go once he crosses the line. Let's see what type of lap time Johnson's putting down now that he's relaxed mode. 2 minutes, 18 seconds. So he's still quick, but most importantly, he's very consistent as he once again comes up on lap traffic. That's going to be Jeffrey Radke, I believe, about to go a lap down. No, excuse me, that's going to be Curry, Matthew Curry in the 54. Curry gives race leader Michael J. Johnson the preferred line. Now Curry's live timing shows 51, but his truck and his heart say 51. So I'm not sure if Jeffrey Radke might have borrowed that number or what might have happened. But Michael J. Johnson does a great job, makes clean work of it, goes into 5, no problems at all, blasts up the hill before he starts slowing it down again to navigate turn 6 before going down the hurried down straightaway. Now, Michael J. Johnson's got to watch those little bit of wheel drops he's doing. We saw earlier a few drivers had that moment. Matthew Lee, just one little wheel drop is all it took to send him spinning down the Moraine sweep into 5. So Johnson knows at this point, hey, I've got a comfortable lead. It's 30 seconds to second place, Matthew Lee. It is a full minute to third place, Chad Ross. If he can keep clicking off these 2:18, 2:19, 2:20 lap times, he's in a good spot to stay out front, put on one of the best finishes of the season. Jose Medina, he has a crash. Let's grab the replay for you there. Medina, the number 24, having a rough time on this road course. We talked to him before the race went live, and we said, hey, are you excited or are you just going to go out there to survive? And he kind of chuckled a little bit and said, you know, tonight's all about survival for me, as he sends the Takati-sponsored 24 machine into the kitty litter, and around she goes. Does a good job avoiding any hard impact into the wall, but you can tell already that 24 not had the night he was really looking forward to. It'll be 7 to go for Michael J. Johnson. About 14 minutes left in the race here tonight. A brief pause followed by Atlanta Motor Speedway, a 1.5-mile track that is known for eating up tires. I know some of these drivers are going to be very excited to go to an oval after this, and you may see a few late entries into tonight's festivities that may have skipped it due to being a road course. Also, part of it could very well be that some of these guys are still getting back from out of town for July 4th. If you're watching along at home, we hope you had a good 4th as well. Hopefully, no missing body parts after fireworks shenanigans. We did get reports as well. Kenneth McCullough Jr. in the 03 has parked it for today. William Lothar stays back out there after a long pit stop, going to try and salvage some points. Well done to the commitment for all these drivers, especially the ones that aren't having the best of night, that are still staying out there, hammering off laps and having a good time. That's what it's all about here at the FEG PC Truck Series. Yes, there's a fair amount of money on the line for you to win, but a lot of it's surrounding yourself with very good athletes on the iRacing service and just having a great time with your buddies on and off the track. All of these guys race multiple series here in the FEG PC leagues together and just have a lot of fun hanging out and giving each other a hard time when they're able to. Matt Lee has a moment. He goes off track in the 04. Able to collect himself, but he did lose about 5 seconds with that eventual. We'll grab a quick replay for you on that, but Lee doing a good job. He knows tonight's all about saving points for the 04 machine. Oh, Lee almost had a fantastic moment there. A fantastic job saving on, or holding on to it and saving it. That could have went way, way worse. We saw Matthew Lee already had one big moment today going into turn 5 at the Moraine Sweep. Pretty much took the entire little straightaway there sideways in the 04. Oh, look at the drift action behind him. That's Matthew Curry hanging it out wide. "13 drivers started tonight. 8 stay on the lead lap, with only 2 drivers out for the night. Andrew Navarro, they did not start. Kenneth McCullough Jr. deciding to park it after 15 laps of a rough night for him, but McCullough Jr. a good job and a good effort. And somebody else we need to give credit to, William Lothar in the 47 has a very, very rough night, but refuses to give up, still out there holding on to it, trying to make something happen. As you see him get passed by faster traffic going into turn 5. That's the 24 of Jose Medina coming by, putting him down, but Medina has a moment, goes off track. That is not a battle for position there. That's just guys doing their best and holding on to it and trying to click off some laps, and Lothar refusing to yield despite some big hits tonight. You see how worse for wear the 47 really is, but well done to William, our favorite fastest Canadian, staying out there and making it happen. We'll check in with Chad Ross in the 38. Ross currently running in 3rd place. He's got a 34-second gap to the position in front of him, Matthew Lee, and then a 25-second gap to 4th place, Jeffrey Radke. We're going to take you on board with him for a brief moment, just let you listen to the engine roar. A great angle that shows just how hard these drivers are working and how careful they have to be on their throttle and the brakes to keep these trucks under control. Chad Ross, he's up 3 places from where he originally started tonight, so doing a great job staying out there, gaining some spots, but it's 5 laps to go, a little over 10 minutes remaining in the opening round tonight of our doubleheader. All these drivers, it's no testament. You get a bunch of guys pretty unfamiliar with the road course having to go out there and try and go as fast as they possibly can, save some points or gain some points in the guys that are not quite road racing aficionados. So well done to these guys, doing a fantastic job just staying committed and staying out there. Some of these drivers you've seen having a rough go tonight are extremely talented oval racers, so you put them outside their element, and don't get me wrong, they look like they're having a hard time, but these are still some of the best racers you can find on the iRacing service. This is not guys that have just downloaded it and trying to make it happen, but honestly, it's very similar to how the real-life NASCAR guys are as well. You see a bunch of pros go out there and have a rough time, but look at this. I think we see Jeffrey Radke has a moment. Jeffrey Radke in the 51. He's currently getting chased by the 57 Jay Dargert here. Let's see what happens. Radke has a moment all by himself, spins it around. That's going to allow Dargert to regain the 4th place position. So Dargert started 4th, ran a couple laps in the lead before his pit cycle, a very long pit cycle, 54 seconds. So he was in pit lane about 40 seconds longer than everyone else has been for their pit stop. So I'm not sure if Dargert had a speeding under pit road penalty or what could have happened. But unfortunately, really upset his night. But the 57 doing a good job staying in it, trying to get back out there. And that's what makes racers racers. They refuse to give up, never surrender. Four laps to go. Michael Johnson still with a commanding lead. About a 45-second gap over 2nd place Matthew Lee, and a full minute and change over 3rd place. So Johnson, a dominant performance so far here tonight. 4 laps to go. We don't want to call it prematurely because as we've seen, anything can happen. Still plenty of time for things to get shaken up at Road America. Dargert doing a fantastic job holding on to it, the number 40 or the number 57 machine in that Marines painted paint scheme. Dargert always runs very patriotic schemes here at the FEG PC Truck Series, and for the most part keeps them pretty clean. So he's doing a good job of that today, running 4th place, excuse me. Just not having the night he wanted after that pit cycle really set him back. He was in a good spot to at least maintain 2nd or 3rd. But I'm almost confident in saying that it had to have been a speeding violation or something of the sorts that made him come in for that long. We didn't see Dargert with any heavy damage. He may have had a little bit of front damage from that incident he had with lap traffic, but hate to see that for him. Chad Ross still doing a great job running 3rd in the 38 machine. Four laps to go. Michael J. Johnson still putting on a heck of a run. Race time shows is 51 minutes. It is a checkered flag at 60 minutes, so I believe Johnson should be able to finish it here. As he crosses the start-finish line straight, should have plenty of time to make it all the way around the track with time to spare as he clicks off a 2-minute or a 19-second lap time that last time by. So he's really not slowed the pace down much. He's been very consistent, running high 219s, low 220s. He's got the number 39 Toyota really dialed in. That Tundra doing a fantastic job. Smooth is fast, fast is smooth, and no one knows it better than Michael J. Johnson on a road course. Johnson with one of the highest iRating scores here in the FEG PC Truck Series. That being said, some of these guys do not run official iRacing lobbies much, if at all. They would much rather find themselves surrounded by very clean racers that they can find here every Monday night at the FEG PC Truck Series and the FEG PC Cup Series on Wednesdays, both covered by Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Bring the action, 1080p, 60 frames a second. Always having a great time in the booth here, calling these guys races. They always put on great shows for us here. As Michael Johnson's still doing a great job, letting that truck hang out just enough to make his way around. Jose Medina, he's coming out of pit lane after a 5-minute pit stop, so able to get that truck put back together. A lot of duct tape, Flex Seal, and hammers involved, getting the number 24 Toyota back together. Not the best work with the hammers by the crew chiefs out there, but they get it passable in the 24, so he can go back out, collect some laps, and try and salvage some points. He's about 2 laps down from the next position in front of him. That's going to be Matthew Curry in 10th, but I think Jose, he said prior to the race, I'm just trying to hold on to it, just trying to survive, and you see that now as he tries to hold on to it in the 24, just not having the night he wanted here. Take a look at Parks in the number 5 machine. A very cool red, white, and blue paint scheme just in time for July 4th. But to be fair, he runs it all the time. So always a great looking truck out there week in and week out. Parks finds himself running 7th place. He's up 2 spots from where he originally started today. Oh, just like that, Church gets around Jeffrey Radke. I'm not sure if Radke had a self-spin or if we might have had a little bit of help there. Looks like it was. Radke found himself in the key litter all by himself. So Radke, he's going to lose a spot to Church, but still finds himself in 6th position in the number 51 machine. And then Kieran Church, that poor truck has seen better days. Church getting around lap traffic however he can. Doesn't matter if it's in the grass. Doesn't matter if it's in the kitty litter. He's going to make it happen. So Church still charging hard, running exactly where he did from the race start, 5th position in the 22 truck. Two laps remaining for our race leader, Michael J. Johnson. Johnson with a very, very clean 39. He should be able to click off his white flag lap very, very shortly. He's 3/4 of the way through his lap now as he dives it into Canada corner. Flicks it back and forth through Thunder Valley. And then the final right for the through the Bill Mitchell bend as well. Then turn 14, the right-hander. We've seen these guys carry so much speed, trying to get as much drive as they can up that hill for the Road America straight through the start-finish line. White flag is out as Michael J. Johnson gets ready to make his way by for the final time of the night on his 25th lap. He has a 48-second gap over 2nd place Matt Lee. A minute and 20-second over 3rd place Chad Ross. So Michael J. Johnson able to be fast and be a very, very consistent today. But, oh no, I believe Kieran Church has a moment. Let's grab a replay of that. Church in the 22 machine. So he's coming down the straight here into turn 5 and just too much brake, sends it sliding around. And then we've got a race forming up between Eric Parks and then I think that's going to show Radke, who had another moment. So Radke had a big off track for about 30 seconds at this point. The white flag is out. Michael J. Johnson halfway through the race here. Johnson, just an absolute dominant machine out there in his Toyota Tundra. Matthew Lee also in a Toyota Tundra, currently running second place. But here we go for the final time through Thunder Valley in the Bill Mitchell Bend. Michael J. Johnson is going to go into 14 for the 25th and final time up the straightaway here at Road America. Put your hands together. Michael J. Johnson, an absolute dominant performance over a 48-second gap over second place and a minute and 25 over third place. Michael J. Johnson with a very, very good run here today. He does not want to do another lap. He's going to pull over and let it park. Let's check on Matt Lee. Matt Lee in second place. Not having the run he wanted today. Matthew Lee brings it home in second place. We'll check on Chad Ross in third and 38. So that's going to look like your top three tonight. A very good run from all of our competitors. Able to circulate and navigate and most importantly survive the very trickery road course. We're going to get the drivers up here in the podium just a moment as Chad Ross crosses the line for his final time. Chad Ross brings it home in third. A very good job from all of our finishers here today. We're going to get race leader. We're going to do it in reverse order today. We're going to get race leader and winner Michael J. Johnson in the booth. Johnson, I'll make it brief. I know you've got to get ready for the second round of the doubleheader, but an absolute dominant performance tonight, my friend.
Yeah, this Road America, that's one of my favorite tracks. Just love this track. Truck's handling good, and just it's a good win for us.
Now, Johnson, you're going to expand your points lead just a little bit. How excited are you to see Watkins Glen later on in a couple weeks? Another road course for you to go out on. That's got to be great for you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Watkins Glen. That's another one of my favorite tracks. I mean, I'm all for the road courses. I wish we had a few more on here.
Well, Johnson, great run tonight. Before we let you go, anybody like to thank for round one of this doubleheader?
We got Circle B Diecast on the truck, and then all the guys at Keeping It Real Esports.
Well, have a great one, man. We'll let you get ready for Atlanta Motor Speedway. I hope to see you up on the podium again.
Thank you, sir.
All right, up next, you've got second place Matt Lee in the 04 machine. Matt, what a heck of a night so far, my friend.
Yeah, it was a good finish for us. Definitely could have been better of my own doing, but, I'll take the second.
Yeah, you had a large, huge, scary, you pick an adjective, and it fits, moment going into Moraine, sweep going into 5. Looks like you just kind of dropped those tires in the dirt just enough and barely saved it from really hitting the wall there before going into 5.
Yeah, that one there really got me out of the rhythm there and made a lot of mistakes after that, just kind of knowing that the race for the win was kind of gone. I think I hit the rumble strip with the right side tires, and it started hopping, and just I got really lucky with getting it locked up in time and getting a really slow slide against the wall. So it could have definitely been a lot worse than it was.
Yeah, well done saving it, Matt. I know you got to get ready for Atlanta Motor Speedway. Before we let you go, if there's anybody you'd like to thank, the floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, again, I got to thank all the guys at CGE, Shenandoah Shine, Martin Sports. Got a lot of thanks to those guys and everything they do for me. Marconi Setup Shop, GTR Simulators, you for the broadcast, and Jeff for putting on this awesome week.
Awesome, Matt. We greatly appreciate you, my friend. We'll see you at Atlanta.
Appreciate it, Buck.
And then last but certainly not least, third place, Chad Ross. Man, that was a rough night for a lot of people, wasn't it, Chad? Well, we've lost Chad Ross. Not quite sure what's happening there. We'll try one more time. We'll try one more time for Chad Ross. Chad, do you read me? Chad, you got your ears on. There we go.
I was trying to talk to you, and some reason it kept kicking me out of here.
Well, shame on them, Chad. Welcome back to the podium interview. Third place tonight. Not probably the night you wanted, but a lot better than could have been for how many trucks we saw in the grass, in the walls. That was a rough night for a lot of people.
Yeah, it was a lot better than I thought I was going to do. So my plan was just to keep it on track and stay off the grass, and I made it through it with 0 X's. So that's how I got third.
That's a accomplishment by itself, Chad. We appreciate you having the broadcast playing on the TV or whatever it is right there. Always appreciated. Chad, how excited are you to have Watkins Glen later on this season? Another road course for you guys.
I'm all right with it. I mean, they're fun. I mean, I'll probably run 100 laps of this place this week. So once you get used to them, they're fun. So hopefully I can stay out of trouble and sneak through with a good one again.
Well, excellent. Always spoken like a true professional, Chad. We're going to get you, let you get ready for Atlanta Motor Speedway, so we're going to really switch things up for the doubleheader tonight. Before we let you go, my friend, anybody like to thank that might be watching along from across the world?
I just thank Jeff for putting it on for you for broadcasting, and thanks to old guy Jay Dargent for putting up some practices and sharing some of his road course knowledge, and for wrecking late in the race because I wasn't going to catch him.
poor Jay. I think it was a pit strategy that I don't know what happened. You may have communicated better. We'll have to get a report from him. But yeah, that 56-second pit stop really hurt his night. But Chad, have a great night, man. We'll hopefully see you back up on the podium at Atlanta.
I'll sure be trying to.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do us for round one of the doubleheader tonight. They're getting ready for Atlanta Motor Speedway. We'll take a quick break, but don't miss any of the action. We'll be back soon for Atlanta Motor Speedway as we really switch things up as we go back to the 1.5-mile cookie cutters and a lot of hard racing. Welcome back, race fans, to the second event of tonight's FEG PC Truck Series doubleheader here at the virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway. These drivers just got done finishing up at Road America, a grueling 25 laps around the road course, and jumped straight back into qualifying here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's going to be a fun night. These drivers really having to switch things up, going from a road course back out to a 1.5 mile cookie cutter oval. Atlanta Motor Speedway, known for its very, very abrasive track surface. Matthew Lee puts it on top of provisional pole with a 31.03, followed by Michael J. Johnson, Eric Parks, Kieran Church, Day Gart will round out our top 5. Not quite the busy field you're used to seeing here in the Truck Series. Part of it was that the opening round tonight was a road circuit, and the second part was it is the day after a 4th of July, so some drivers still not able to get home to their rigs. We're going to watch Kenneth McCullough Jr. out there in the single truck qualifying, see what he can put down. His last time I was at 31.51. He has the best, a 31.03 to make pole. Let's see what he can do here as he makes his way back around, getting ready to enter the tri-oval. McCullough with a 31.29 finds himself about 0.3 seconds off from where he needs to be for pole. These drivers did not have a lot of practice going into this round. They had to figure out some server settings, get everything dialed in. As just like that, qualifying comes to an end. Jose Medina not able to put down a qualifying time, so unfortunate for him. But tonight, Matthew Lee started on pole, Michael J. Johnson starting second. Eric Parks will be starting third, Kieran Church fourth for our second row. Jay, fan favorite, Dargert will be starting fifth, with Kenneth McCullough Jr. starting sixth. Jeffrey Radke will be starting seventh, James Kaufman eighth. Matthew Curry will be starting ninth, William Lothar 10th. Then you've got Jesse Bobo starting 11th, Chad Ross 12th, Andrew Ewing starting 13th, and then Jose Medina in 14th, the number 24 machine, unable to get out there for qualifying. So he'll be rounding out our field tonight here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. On behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, FEGPC.net, I'm James Easton, the Bruce, always bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second. And we're going to get ready to go around Atlanta, 80 laps on the 1.5 mile raceway. Guaranteed to be a good time. All of our drivers getting gridded up. It's Matthew Lee, Michael J. Johnson on the front row going 1 and 2. These guys have been battling all season long. They're currently 1 and 2 in points as well. Each driver trying to jockey for a position over the other. In Matthew Lee's case, he's trying to whittle away at that points lead that Johnson has. In Johnson's case, trying to stretch out that gap over second place Matthew Lee. We still have a long way to go here for the segment 2 of the Cup Series. These guys are going to be running until November 15th for the overall championship race, which will be decided at Phoenix. So still lots of racing left to go. Next week, we'll be bringing the action from New Hampshire Motor Speedway, where these guys are going 100 laps around that track, doing their best to make something happen. I believe tonight's race was shortened slightly. It was originally scheduled to be 100 laps, now showing as 80. But these drivers going to take to the field, get their starting lap behind that iRacing pace car. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Matthew Lee able to whittle away at the points lead of Michael J. Johnson, or is Johnson going to be able to put on another dominant performance here? Again, these drivers just came from a long, hour-long race at Road America, a very technical road course, so they're going to have to really change their mindset to get back out there in oval mode. $14 drivers starting today. We're going to wait for that iRacing pace car to come in. And then we're going to keep all eyes on Matthew Lee in the 04, expecting him to get a great launch, but Michael J. Johnson's going to try and stay glued to him on the outside line. Away they go. Matthew Lee gets a fantastic launch. Michael J. Johnson lags slightly behind, but here comes Eric Parks in the number 5, the red, white, and blue truck you see on the right side of your screen. He's going to try and get up there as quickly as he can. For the most part, the field's broken down single file action here. As one driver in the back, I believe that's Andrew Ewing, has a big moment. Able to collect himself on the apron, get back out there. Matthew Lee out front. He's got 0.3 seconds over second place Michael J. Johnson. Eric Parks right in the mix here in the number 5, the Ford F-150. Right now it's 2 Toyota Tundras up front. Matthew Lee, Michael J. Johnson, Eric Parks, Kieran Church, both in Fords. And then behind them a pair of Chevrolets, Kenneth McCullough Jr. in 5th, Jay Dargert in 6th. Kieran Church, though, he's got a lot on his hands. Right behind him, Kenneth McCullough Jr. Jay Dargert all in the mix here, trying to get that 4th place spot out of the hand of Kieran Church. Here comes Kenneth McCullough Jr. on the inside in the 03. Kieran Church showing as number 22 on his truck on the outside line. Looks like the train's getting formed up on the bottom line. McCullough throws a big block, gets back in line. Dargert's going to try and squeeze the position away from Kieran Church, but can he make it stick? Dargert on the inside, Church on the outside. Behind them, Jeffrey Radke also in the mix, the number 51 machine. That inside line's really got something figured out here. They're starting to make a little bit of moves and get some headway up front, but Michael J. Johnson, second place, puts down the best lap of the session so far with a 31.06. But oh, hold on to it, Jay. He gets a bit of a moment. Not sure if he got help there or not. He's going to find himself down a couple spots. So Jay Dargert now finds Jeffrey Radke in front of him. Kieran Church in 4th, Ken McCullough Jr. 5th. 80 laps here on the mile-and-a-halfer in Atlanta. Really south of Atlanta if you want to get super technical, but still, Atlanta Motor Speedway, it's our only NASCAR track that we've got in the state. A state full of great racing. We've got Road Atlanta, we've got Lanier Speedway, and of course we've got Atlanta Motor Speedway, our big NASCAR race. Oh, a lot of action going on at the back there. Jesse Bobo involved in an incident. Let's grab the replay. I don't think the caution's going to come out. William Lothar also involved. We're watching Jesse Bobo in the number 8. Not sure what happens to that gear wrench machine in front of him. I think there's already smoke. Yeah, it's William Lothar causes the original crash. I think Bobo may have just gotten a little bit spooked. But then Bobo with a massive hit on the inside wall. Caution does not come out. I guess since they were on the inside of the racing line, there was nothing to pick up on from the iRacing officials. Jesse Bobo did make his way into pit lane on his own accord, but Matthew Lee, race leader, he's starting to get company from Michael J. Johnson. Less than 2/10 separate these drivers. Michael J. Johnson, he's been with a dominant truck out here this season, but Matthew Lee's had his fair share of wins and a whole lot of podiums here at the FEG PC Truck Series. Are we going to see Michael J. Johnson make a move early on into the race? It's only lap 8. It'll be 9 once they cross the line. But less than 2/10 of a second separates these lead drivers. From my understanding, they are at 65% fuel capacity. We see Jesse Bobo, he was involved early on. Andrew Ewing, he's going to come into pit lane as well, try and get his truck repaired. Oh, Michael Johnson is glued to the rear bumper of Matthew Lee there. Looks like he pushed a little bit wide, maybe trying an alternative line. We're going to take you on board. Michael J. Johnson shows you how close the action really is here at Atlanta Motor Speedway early on into the night. Johnson, you're on board with him in the 39. He's chasing Matthew Lee in the 04 machine. Not a whole lot of lifting, maybe some fuel saving going on from Michael J. Johnson, but not a whole lot. As Matthew Lee is going to click off some lead laps in the 04 machine. Always one of the best looking paint schemes we see out here in the FEG PC series. Matthew also runs the Cup series that runs every Wednesday night here at FEGPC.net. Always brought to you live by Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. But man, look at this action up front. Michael J. Johnson all over the rear bumper of race leader Matthew Lee. As they are getting one heck of a gap over third place Eric Parks. Parks finds himself 2.6 seconds back. Behind Parks, you've got Kenneth McCullough Jr. This is your battle for third shaping up. McCullough Jr., he's up 2 spots so far, has worked his way up into fourth. He sees third in his sights, but let's take you back here to ninth place where it's a three-way battle. Jose Medina, the 24 Toyota, behind him, Chad Ross, James Kaufman, all trying to get up there, get that top 10 spot. Great racing going on across the racetrack, but we're going to take it back up front. You do not want to miss this. Michael J. Johnson really pushing Matt Lee here. Michael J. Johnson, not sure if we're going to see a patch the lead develop or not. He may be happy following Matthew Lee and trying to force Lee to carry a pace he doesn't quite want to. They were within 0.04 of a second their last lap. We know Lee is very experienced when it comes to tire saving. Can Johnson be pushing him in the hope to make him burn up more tires than he really wants early on the race? We're on lap 14. These competitors are clicking them off very, very quickly. But Matt Lee trying to hold off Michael J. Johnson. We're very early on into the race here. Looks like Johnson might have fallen off just a little bit there, as he may start going into tire saving mode. I'm not quite sure what the plan is. Going to take you back to 10th place, Jose Medina. He's up 4 spots, but lost a spot to Chad Ross in the 38 machine. Then the battle for the top 3 spot really shaking up. Kierman Church has got himself involved in the battle for third. He's right behind Kenneth McCullough Jr. In front of Jr., you've got Eric Parks, who started third and is still running third. This may be the hot battle for a little while here, as you see about 3 cars very close to each other. Jeffrey Radke has a bit of a moment, gets the rear end wiggling. That's going to allow Jay Darter to try and reel in the 51 machine, keep a little bit better drive going into that corner. Darter coming out of 4, looks like he's got great speed. He may have a run here. Not sure if he's going to be able to do anything with it against the 51. Not quite, but he is closing the gap, getting closer and closer to 6th place here, as Radke's starting to get back on the throttle after that little bit of upsetting moment for him. But look at that. Kierman Church, he has a moment, going to fall way off the pace. That'll allow Jeffrey Radke, Jay Darter to reel him in just a little bit. It will also allow Eric Parks, Kenneth McCullough Jr. to get a little bit of a breathing space as Kierman Church falls off just a little bit. He'll have to work his way back up to try and get involved in that battle for third. Right now, about a second separates 5th place Kierman Church with 6th place Jeffrey Radke. But Radke's got his hands full as Jay Darter doing his best to make a pass happen here. Coming out of turn 2, you see that was Radke excuse me, not Radke. No, that was Radke. My apologies. Radke got a little bit loose. That's going to allow Jay Darter to drive down the inside in 57. 57's on the inside. It's Jay Darter on the outside. 51, Jeffrey Radke. Looks like Darter's going to get himself clear here, going through the tri-oval, diving it into turn 1. As we will be a quarter of the way through this race as Matthew Lee crosses the start-finish line. Matthew Lee still has Michael J. Johnson breathing down his neck as they come up on lap traffic. That's going to be William Lothar in the 47 machine. Lothar's going to do his best to try and give the leaders their preferred line, but not a lot of places to go. It looks like a wide racetrack from your television at home, but once you're out there, it does not feel like you have a whole lot of room to work with. Matt Lee, Michael J. Johnson get around Lothar pretty cleanly. Lothar's going to fall in line going down one lap here. Great racing from start to back here. We've seen battles for first and second. We've seen battles for third. As we see Kiernan Church trying to reel in Kenneth McCullough Jr. in the 03 machine. McCullough Jr. and Eric Parks running very, very close to each other. Church had a moment early on that had the back end of that 22 machine step out and lost a whole lot of time, but let's see, can Kiernan Church, it looks like he's slowly catching Kenneth McCullough Jr., but how will this affect him later on in the run? Is he burning up too much tire early on after that moment? Or is he going to be able to reel in fourth and third place of McCullough Jr. Eric Parks, still running front to tail here, doing a good job keeping it clean. They come out of two down the back stretch, but oh my, it looks like Kiernan Church starting to get able a little bit closer within striking distance. Not sure what the strategy is going to be from these competitors tonight. Are they going to try it as far back as through the halfway mark of the race as they can? Or are we going to see some early undercuts? Guys trying to come into pit lane around the lap 30 to 35 mark, get some fresh tires on there. Right now, most of these competitors are about 1 second off their best lap time of the race, up to 1.7 seconds. But look at this. They're going to go for a heck of a battle here for third. Kenneth McCullough Jr. drives it down the inside of Eric Parks. Here comes Kiernan Church, though, on the outside as well. So McCullough doesn't get the best out of that situation. Unable to make it stick against Eric Parks, and Kiernan Church is going to take advantage of it, move his way up. We see a little bit of smoke there. That might have been Church get loose. No, judging from the speed, I'm going to guess Parks got a little bit loose there. And that's going to allow Kiernan Church to get all over the rear bumper of number 5, Eric Parks. Two very different lines from these competitors going through these corners coming out of turn 4. Trying to carry as much speed as they possibly can. And now these guys have lap traffic. I believe that's going to be Lothar once more in the 47 machine. Lothar gets a little bit loose. Hold on to it, Lothar. Scares the bejesus out of everybody. Able to stay out of the racing line. A fantastic save from the 47. But still a great battle for, this is going to be for third place. Kiernan Church all over number 5, Eric Parks. Meanwhile, up front, Matt Lee still has his hands full with Michael Johnson. But right now, the lead drivers, Matthew Lee, Michael Johnson, have a 4.5 second gap over this middle pack here, as Kiernan Church is going to get shuffled past by Kenneth McCullough Jr. McCullough Jr. wants back in the mix of it. He wants to get back up there to Eric Parks and battle, but Kiernan Church says, no way, my friend, I'm here to race. You see a little bit of battle scars on the right side of the 22 as he had a little bit of a moment with the wall. And now Church is also going to have to contend with the fan favorite Jay Dargert at the 57. Dargert starting to find some speed. He's still down one spot from where he originally started, running 5th place, but he's got 4th in his eyesights, trying to make work of Kenneth McCullough Jr. Look at this. Michael J. Johnson's current 2nd place is going to bring it into pit lane on lap 28. So going for a bit of an undercut here. Jose Medina, he's going to come into pit lane as well. And what a tight group of drivers. This is the 2nd through 5th place you see on your screen right now. As Eric Parks leads the pack, Kieran Church, he's going to dive into pit lane. Or excuse me, everyone else is Parks, McCullough Jr., Jay Darger, Jeffrey Radke, all come into pit lane. Matthew Lee, Kieran Church stay out. Matthew Curry, Chad Ross, James Kaufman staying out as well. Matthew Lee, we've seen him. He's an expert at fuel saving, so if anybody's going to stay out as long as physically possible, it's going to be Matthew Lee. He finds himself a little shy of 2 seconds slower than his best lap time of the session. His last lap was a 33:08. We'll see what it is this time by. Matthew Lee's going to go around the 25 machine of James Kaufman, put him a lap down. Matthew Curry comes in. James Kaufman coming in as well. So now you'll see Matt Lee coming in, Kieran Church, and then Chad Ross. I believe he'll come in as well. Sure looks like it. So for the most part, everybody has cycled in this time. Michael J. Johnson will resume the lead. Or I guess I should say take the lead for the first time tonight. Michael J. Johnson did a 31.3 last time. Let's see what it is here, a 31.27. So Mr. Consistency does a great job. Gets around Matthew Lee. You saw Lee in the corner of your screen leaving pit lane. All these drivers taking full fuel and 4 Goodyears. So Matthew Lee will find himself probably about 5 to 7 seconds back after this pit stop once he gets back up to speed. But he found his speed pretty quickly. It looks like Lee's only going to be about 3.3 seconds back. Meanwhile, Kenneth McCullough Jr. in third place is about 9 seconds back. But just like that, can't shake Jeffrey Radke. Radke all over the back of the 03 machine. The 51 in that black and red paint scheme chasing the 03, that Realtree camo sponsored Chevrolet. Let's see, does Radke try and fall in line? Or is he going to try and make a pass? Now, these guys know if they work together, they can catch up to first and second place. They find themselves about 6 seconds back from Matthew Lee, who's running in second right now. So let's see what type of lap times these guys can do once they start working together. Michael Johnson and Matt Lee pretty much by themselves in 1 and 2 right now. Kenneth McCullough Jr. still holding on to third. He's up 3 spots. Jeffrey Radke in fourth, also up 3 spots. Does not appear to me, though, that they are gaining much time, if any, on the lead pack. This last time by, looks like both of these guys did 31.6s. Meanwhile, Matthew Lee did a 31.16 all by himself, and Michael J. Johnson did a 31.55. So even working with draft, Kenneth McCullough Jr., Jeffrey Radke unable to start making the ground they really need, as they find themselves about 7 seconds back from second place Matthew Lee. As always, we greatly appreciate everybody from across the globe that tunes in, supports their favorite drivers on the FEG PC leagues here on Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. And as always, if you got a favorite driver you're cheering on, let us know. We always love seeing folks cheering on their friends, family, and fellow racers, and it helps get these guys a little bit of TV time for their sponsors and helps support your favorite league here at FEGPC.net, the leading provider for custom-built sim solution design desktop PCs. Can't find them as well anywhere else out on the internet. Always a great time, great computers, and even better racing, as we see third place Kenneth McCullough Jr. still holding off Jeffrey Radke. they're finding themselves losing time to Matt Lee, who is in second place in the 04 Toyota. These guys are about 0.3 seconds off of Matt Lee's current times. I'm not quite sure what type of pit strategy we're going to see out here tonight. Most of these guys have pitted between lap 27 and 30. So I'm not sure if we'll see one more pit stop on lap 60 or so, but gotta say it's been pretty clean racing, a smaller field than we're used to, so all 14 drivers doing their best. We do have 2 drivers out. That will be Andrew Ewing and Jesse Bobo calling an early night. Bobo made it to lap 5, Ewing made it to 11 before they decided to park it, so hate to see it for those guys, but maybe we'll see him next week at New Hampshire. Now McCullough Jr. and Radke could also be communicating, saying, hey, let's save some tires here together and maybe we'll have a better shot towards the end of the run to really make something happen. But they've got over an 8-second deficit. They're going to have to try and gain back at some point. But fuel and tires got to be the strategy they're going for. They're not clicking off hot laps. They're just trying to stay pretty smooth, pretty consistent. And if we see them swap off positions later on, you'll definitely there's a little bit of strategy going on. If they start taking turns so the fuel burns a little bit more even, because right now Kenneth McCullough Jr. pushing all the air out here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Matthew Lee slowly gaining time here as he gets closer and closer to race leader Michael J. Johnson. Less than a second gap at this point. You saw it once Lee made his way out of pit lane that it was about a 4-second gap once he got all the way up to speed, but he has whittled away those 3 seconds. Michael J. Johnson did a 32.04 his last time by compared to Matthew Lee's 31.78. So these drivers are absolutely clicking off laps. While we're at the halfway mark, we're going to take you to a quick commercial break, but don't go away. You might miss the action. We'll be right back after a brief word from our sponsor. Welcome back, race fans. Just like that, you see Matthew Lee take the lead from Michael J. Johnson. Lee has 3-lap newer tires than Michael J. Johnson, but I don't believe that was the reason. Matthew Lee just absolutely hauling the man out. They will have lap traffic to contend with here in a moment. But as always, thank you to FEGPC.net for putting on these series. The lead provider of custom sim desktop computers with mine, iRacing, Microsoft Flight Sim, DCS, whatever the need, they've got the rigs to make it happen. So check them out, FEGPC.net. Pick up your custom computer today and even sign up for the 2 series that FEG PC puts on. They've got trucks on Monday, cup cars on Wednesday. All the action here live week in and week out. Looks like that's going to be William Lothar battling with, I believe, Jose Medina. Lothar is already a lap down. These guys do not want to try and get involved with the leader. Matt Lee is going to run the high line, try and navigate this lap traffic. Gives a little bit of a push to Jose. He's going to put Jose down for his first lap of the night. Then Michael J. Johnson finds himself with 2 lapped trucks in between him and the race leader, Matthew Lee. Matthew Lee still very consistent, put down a 32.55 his last lap compared to Michael J. Johnson's 32.73. We've said it 100 times now, but Lee is extremely good at tire saving and fuel management as he's about 0.2 faster that last lap over second place Michael J. Johnson. Oh, William Lothar has a big moment, holds on to it, drops down to the apron, able to collect himself and his thoughts. As Matt Lee, one of the dominant trucks here in the series in the 04, he's trying to whittle away at the points gap that Michael J. Johnson has in this series championship. We get ready to approach lap 50. I've got to wonder what the strategy is going to be for these drivers. Is Lee going to come in around that lap 55 to 60 mark? Or I don't know what the plan is going to be here. It's a very odd number of laps, so it doesn't really fall in line with their fuel allotment. They're going to hold it out and as long as they possibly can, click off some laps. Last time we saw Michael J. Johnson come in early with the undercut on lap 27. Lee stayed out an additional 3 laps. Their pit times were almost identical, within 0.2 of each other, a little bit less. As, oh no, Michael J. Johnson has a moment, gets into the wall, and loses a whole lot of time. So it's going to allow Matthew Lee to extend that lead to about 3 seconds. So Matthew Lee clicking off 32.64s. Let's see what it is this time by a 32.7 lead. Very, very consistent. You can definitely tell the pace has fallen off, but still doing a good job of keeping it smooth and staying out there. Michael J. Johnson after that moment was a 34.09. Lap 51 out of 80 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Matthew Lee putting on a pretty dominant performance. What is the pit strategy going to be here tonight to try and get out in that last stint here at the raceway with the freshest tires you can without giving up too much positions? And we did have a few close calls for bringing out a caution early on, and that's always a factor. Especially guys, they start getting out there on worn tires, the trucks start pushing up the race line, and the next thing you know, you can find yourself into the safety barrier. Here comes Matt Lee navigating more lap traffic. That's James Kaufman, the 25 machine. Kaufman's going to hold the high line. It's going to allow Lee to drop down low. He should be clean going into turn 1. He does make it stick. Nothing to it. Lee, a very, very fast, clean, and consistent racer. So we've got a correction, I believe, before Road America. I'm not quite sure here. They have not updated the scoring for Road America, so I'm not quite sure who the points leader is at this spot. Matthew Lee shows as the points leader before Road America. Michael J. Johnson showed 19 points behind, so still anybody's championship. Matthew Lee started the season off strong where he won at Charlotte. He won at Daytona, and he won at the Gateway Oval before losing his winning streak at Kentucky where he finished third. So Matthew Lee wants to try and get another streak going on here. As Matthew Lee still finds himself about 0.2 of a lap faster than second place Michael J. Johnson. James Kaufman has a big moment, able to collect himself there. Take a little bit further back in the field, you got Kenneth McCullough Jr. doing a great job tonight. He's up 3 spots, currently running in 3rd place. McCullough Jr. has had a roller coaster of a season so far. Had some great nights, had some not so great nights. Currently finds himself still 3rd in points before we count Road America. His career best of the season was at Daytona, where he got a 5th place finish. The biggest thing about McCullough, he is a very clean driver. He had incident points at Daytona, but other than that, he's had clean races all season long, and still finding himself to lock in a 3rd place championship if he can just keep the consistency. So even without being up there in the top 3 that often, he's been very consistent in all of his races, and he's showing it here today as he's running very strong in 3rd place. He was about 0.2 a lap faster than 2nd place, Michael J. Johnson, and running almost identical times to Jeffrey Radke in the number 51 Toyota, currently in 4th. So McCullough's got to feel pretty cool, calm, and collected here. 24 laps to go. He doesn't have much competition in front of him. He's got about a 7.5 second gap to 2nd place, and a 1.7 second gap to 4th place. He's kind of out by himself, just pushing out air, clicking off some good laps, and focusing on hitting his marks at this point. For the most part, a pretty strung out field. 14 drivers started, 11 are still out there. Matthew Curry is going to come in for pit lane. Michael J. Johnson, he's going to bring in a pit lane. Kenneth McCullough Jr. is going to come in. We saw Johnson go for the undercut earlier. These guys are going to come in on lap 58. Matthew Lee's going to stay out. He came in on lap 30. Does he pit on lap 60 again as he gets ready to start lap 59? So Johnson, Dargert, McCullough Jr., Jeffrey Radke, Medina, Kaufman all came into pit lane to cycle in, grab fuel, and 4 fresh Goodyears. Kieran Church also coming in. Matthew Lee absolutely shuts off the 04. Prime time fuel save. We're going to take you on board going into 1, see if we can listen along what he might be doing here. So you can hear from race leader Matthew Lee just how hard he is killing the engine to try and save a little bit of fuel. He's got 20 laps to go. I can't imagine he'll be able to run it on 1 tank of gas here. As no, Matthew Lee's going to bring into pit lane. Chad Ross in pit lane. So let's watch Michael J. Johnson. He's actually a lap down right now as Matt Lee was able to put a lap on him. Matt Lee is going to try and get out as quickly as he can. Should put himself in a pretty good spot here. So let's see. Michael J. Johnson's going to drive across start-finish line. Matthew Lee is leaving the pits. Where is this going to put Lee as they rejoin on track? Just ahead of Michael J. Johnson, you can see Matthew Lee in the 04. He's coming out with fresh tires. Lee going to do his best to get on the race line as quick as he can and start hammering down. So Lee out front, pitting late 3 laps later than Michael J. Johnson. Seems like it was a good strategy so far. 19 laps to go. Lee's going to do his best to hammer down right now and try and make something happen. Kenneth McCullough Jr. currently 4th. Jeffrey Radke in 5th. All of these guys are pretty strung out. They've got about 2 seconds in front and behind of Jeffrey Radke. He's got McCullough Jr. in front of him in third. He's got Kieran Church behind him in fifth, excuse me. Can Michael J. Johnson do anything to try and break down another winning streak of Matthew Lee's dominant 04 Toyota? Or will we see a late caution into the run here? 17 laps to go, 16 at the line. Anything can happen here on these raceways. Johnson's last lap, a 32.3. Matthew Lee's a 31.53. A 2.4 second gap between these drivers, 1 and 2. But if you're ever expecting to see a Michael J. Johnson drive the wheels off a truck, now is going to be the time. He's going to try and whittle away that gap. It's still holding at 2.3 seconds. Can he answer Matthew Lee's 31.53 last lap? Let's see what it is here. Lee clicks off at 32.56. What about Michael J. Johnson? Johnson with a 32.6. They're running about the same pace right now for the most part. Who's got the tires to go to the end? It's going to be Matthew Lee, who came in 3 laps later than Michael J. Johnson. Or can Johnson save that tire wear, put down an overall average better lap time over the remaining 14 laps once he crosses the line? Still don't know how things are going to get shaken up. And Kenneth McCullough Jr. doing a great job. He's about 9 seconds back in closing, so he's doing a good job gaining some speed. Let's see, can McCullough Jr. put down a season best for segment 2 with a 3rd place? Maybe even reel in some traffic in front of him. He's whittled down that gap to less than 6 seconds to Michael J. Johnson, currently in 2nd. So McCullough Jr. driving the wheels off that Realtree back 3 machine. It looks like he may have some draft help from lap traffic, able to pull him up just a little bit, using every trick in the book to try and whittle away at the gap. It's down to 5.3 seconds to 2nd place Michael J. Johnson. Now, if McCullough Jr. can keep driving like this, pull his way up to 2nd, that would definitely be the hard charger award for the night. McCullough started off in 6th, has worked his way up to 3rd. Can he keep this run going? He finds himself about a second a lap faster than 1st and 2nd place. Lee out front did a 33.07. Michael J. Johnson with a 32.92. And McCullough Jr. with a 32 flat his last time by. So that draft really shows you how effective it can be when you're gaining a second of a lap at a time. Having that draft of Jose Medina's got to be helping out McCullough Jr. quite a bit. The gap to 2nd now 3.75 seconds in closing. Now the question is, have the leaders figured something out? Did they know that, hey, we've really got a fuel safe here to try and make it to the end? It's 11 laps to go. McCullough Jr. is going to try and make his way around Jose at this point. Looks like he's able to make it happen. So Medina, he's already a lap down the leaders. We heard something happen there. Did somebody... Jeffrey Radke has a moment and a crash. Let's see if we can get a replay of that. Jeffrey Radke in the 51. I heard it off the corner of our camera there. He might have blown up. Let's take another look at that. But I think Radke blew up there. Nope. Just gets a little bit loose, sends it around, and then he might have let the smoke out of the engine. So Radke not having the night he wanted. Kenneth McCullough Jr. still charging hard. A 2.7 second gap now in closing to second place Michael J. Johnson. 9 laps to go. McCullough Jr. slowed down just a little bit. He's about a half second a lap faster than Michael J. Johnson that last lap. Let's see what it is here once it updates. So it shows McCullough Jr. did a 32.28 his last time by. He's currently in third. Michael J. Johnson in second did a 32.61. And then race leader Matt Lee did a 32.66. So McCullough is able to consistently gain about 0.3 seconds a gap. I'm showing at this current rate he's not going to have enough laps. With 7 laps to go, he needs about 9 laps to try and make a move on second. If his pace continues, as well as Michael J. Johnson not able to step up the pace, if he runs exactly where he's at, still a 2.6 second gap to second place. Then McCullough finds himself trying to whittle away, but McCullough Jr. may have used up all the tire in that 03 machine with that hard charge and may not have enough laps, as well as Michael J. Johnson and Matthew Lee, our current 1 and 2, may have gone into fuel saving mode early, doing some math, realizing, hey, we got to really do something different to make it to the end here. We've seen pit stops every 30 laps for the most part. So these guys should be able to make it to the end on fuel without too aggressive a fuel saving. McCullough Jr., he's about 34 points behind the leader, Matthew Lee, in points before Road America is accounted for. So I'm not sure how things are going to shake up. I'm excited about it. Michael J. Johnson, smooth is fast, smooth is good. He did a 32.3 his last time by. Let's see what it is here. Clicks off a 32.48, so he's about a half second slower than current race leader Matt Lee. But he is still faster than third place Kenneth McCullough Jr., who finds himself with a bigger gap. It's now a 3-second gap between second place Michael J. Johnson and third place Kenneth McCullough Jr. So I believe that McCullough has killed off tires a little bit early on, not able to keep that pace up that he really wanted. Meanwhile, Matthew Lee still out front, a dominant performance in the 04 machine, a great pit strategy. 3 laps to go. The 04, a absolute professional when it comes to fuel and tire management, and able to grab the draft from those lapped cars, pull himself up a little bit faster, helps out with that average lap time. We say it all the time. These guys later on in the run are trying to chase the lowest average lap time they can over the course of a run. It's not about going out there and putting down a blistering fast lap, as Matthew Lee's not the fastest truck out there when it comes to best lap of the session. That still belongs to Michael J. Johnson. But what Matthew Lee has been able to figure out is fuel and tire saving. He's able to keep those lap times consistently quicker over a run. And maybe he might not have the best lap of the race, but he's able to consistently stay out there, stay fast. It's going to be white flag once Matthew Lee comes around through turn 4 at the Tri-Oval at Atlanta Motor Speedway. He's going to make another pass here on Eric Parks, who is already a lap down. Parks will yield the preferred line. Lee goes low. Parks hangs it out on the high side. Matthew Lee comes out of turn 2 for the final time here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. White flag is out. Fans are up in their seats. Lee is going to take it into 3 for the final time. Cruise around into turn 4. And Matthew Lee is going to be your winner here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. He has gone very consistently out front all season long, so Matthew Lee going to bring it home. Michael J. Johnson going to bring it home in second. And then Kenneth McCullough Jr. going to bring it in home. So well done to McCullough Jr., one of his best finishes all season long. So we're going to watch Matthew Lee with a well-deserved victory burnout here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. A very consistent and fast machine in the 04, but let's get third place Kenneth McCall Jr. up in the booth. Kenneth, you read me?
Sure, I got you.
Kenneth, great run tonight. It's great to have you back on the podium. We know you weren't quite having some of the races you wanted, but with a season best so far, you've got to be extremely happy with yourself.
Yeah, anytime you can go caution free is a good race. I wanted to see a caution there with about 3 to go. I would have loved that.
Yeah, good opportunity to stack it back up. And, man, a great run tonight. You kept the 03 machine clean. The Real Tree sponsored truck always looking great. And, again, a season best for you. You're third in points just based on consistently, so we know you're a fast driver, and we see it every week. I mean, how did the race go for you tonight? I know it's better than Road America, at least.
Yeah, I've made some contact at Road America there and blew an engine about halfway during the race. So hopefully my luck's turning around. Maybe this is going to get a little better, I hope.
Awesome. Well, hopefully you can do well at New Hampshire as well. Is that a track you enjoy driving at?
Yeah, I like the short tracks. They're not too bad. A little bit of beating and banging.
Always makes it entertaining. A Georgia favorite, Kenneth McCall Jr. Before we let you go, anybody like to thank today?
I'd like to thank you for doing the job you're doing, and thank Jeff for everything he does.
Well, always a pleasure. A pleasure, Kenneth. We'll see you next week. Hopefully, once again in the podium booth.
Buddy.
Up next, second place, Michael Johnson. Michael, a great run tonight. I'm not sure if that was one on fuel saving or not, but it still was anybody's guess as we got to the end. How did it go from behind your windshield out there today?
Good. I just messed up on strategy a little bit. I thought trying to split it 3 ways would be the way to go, but Matt stayed out there until it looked like I think he ran a whole fuel run there, and the fresher tires paid off for him. And then I got into the wall a little bit, and that finished my truck off for contending for the win.
Well, as far as bad nights go, still a great performance. Bringing here in second. I believe you'll still have the points lead after Road America and tonight, but how are you feeling going into New Hampshire, going from a road course to a cookie cutter, then to a short track? It's a very diverse season we've got here.
I'm fine with that. The more short tracks, the better.
Spoken like a true racer. Now, Michael, before we let you go, anybody like to thank that might be cheering you on from across the country?
Yeah, I got all the guys at Keeping It Real Esports, Circle B Diecast, Plan B sales on our truck. Use KIR 2021 at checkout to get free shipping.
Well, Michael, always a pleasure. We'll hopefully see you in the booth again next week at New Hampshire.
Yes, thank you, sir.
And up next, the man of the hour, the 04 machine, Matt Lee. Thank God you weren't on a road course anymore. It looked like you were having a little bit more fun after that one and getting back up there and trying to get that winning streak going again.
Yeah, definitely a little more into what I like to do. So definitely glad to get a little redemption after earlier tonight and the past couple weeks.
Now, Matt, we always say you're an absolute professional when it comes into fuel and tire savings. Was a two-stop strategy the plan from the very beginning, or were you kind of waiting and seeing what everybody else did?
Yeah, with the way it seemed in practice, as slippery the track was and how quickly the times fell off, I really knew if I could stretch fuel as long as I could, it would definitely benefit me on the tire game as the race went on, because it kind of put Michael in a box where he had to pit a couple laps ahead of me there on that last stop, which means I was going to have the better tires at the end. So definitely played to my hand.
Well, it looks like it worked well. Next week, New Hampshire, a smaller, tighter track. Are you excited to be out there and bang some bumpers and doors with your fellow competitors?
Oh, absolutely. Love the New England track. Next state over from me, so definitely looking forward to it.
Well, always a pleasure, Matt. Before we let you go, the floor is yours for anybody you'd like to thank that may be watching along at home or across the world.
Yeah, definitely gotta thank Scott at Martin Sports and everything he does for me. Awesome guy. Anyone looking for any jerseys, gloves, anything like that, check out Martin Sports on Facebook. Shenandoah Shine, McConey Setup Shop, the guys at CGE, GTR Simulators. You for another great broadcast. Always a ton of fun racing with you, and Jeff for putting on the league.
Oh, awesome. Spoken like a real professional that somebody's got a lot of practice up here on the podium speeches. Matt, we'll see you next week in New Hampshire and hope to see you again, my friend.
Appreciate it, brother.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us tonight here at the FEG PC Truck Series, a doubleheader. We started off at Road America and we ended it at Atlanta Motor Speedway. So a very unique night for all of these drivers, able to go out there on varying circumstances and put it down the best they can. We'll see you next week at New Hampshire Motor Speedway as we go 100 laps around the short track. It's going to be exciting. Don't miss anything. As always, on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, I'm James East, bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second. We'll see you next week.